I used to change myself to match what he liked. I adjusted my time around his schedule. I stayed quiet to avoid arguments. I became easy to manage but lost respect. Then something shifted. I noticed the more agreeable I was, the less I mattered. I laughed at jokes I did not find funny. I cancelled plans just to keep him happy. I thought this was love, but it was control. And control always has a cost. Psychologists call this autonomy attraction. People respect those who control themselves. Confidence grows when you choose yourself. Control works on weak ground, not strong roots. So what happens when control fails? I stopped asking for permission. I said no without guilt. I kept parts of my life private. I stayed firm in my choices. That is when everything changed. He felt it when he could not manage me anymore. Not anger, not fights, just distance. I was no longer predictable. I was no longer available on demand, and that made him curious. This is not about being rude or difficult. This is about being free and clear. The most attractive woman is not controlled. She controls herself, and that is power. Stay with me, because this explains everything. From a young age, I learned that being good meant being easy. Easy meant agreeing even when it felt wrong. Easy meant adjusting instead of asking. Easy meant smiling to keep peace. Laugh at his jokes. Change your plans. Wear what he likes. This was called love. But it was really training. Each adjustment gave away power. Each silence weakened voice. Each compromise taught obedience. Psychology calls this learned compliance. Women are taught to protect others' comfort first. Self-loss hides as kindness. Controllable women are easy. Easy women are managed. Managed women are not respected. Sophia was praised for being easygoing. Easygoing meant no boundaries. No boundaries meant no voice. I thought controllable meant attractive. But controllable only earns use. And that truth changed everything. The illusion broke here. I said yes to plans that were not mine. I adjusted my time to fit his comfort. I stayed quiet to avoid small fights. Agreeable felt kind, but erased my presence. Something was slowly disappearing. He stopped asking what I wanted. He stopped checking my schedule. He stopped valuing my opinion. Agreeing had trained him to decide. That should scare you. Psychology calls this chronic agreeability. No boundaries slowly remove respect. People value what has limits. Always available becomes easy to ignore. Respect fades quietly. Sophia noticed choices were never hers. Plans appeared and she followed. Agreeable erased her voice. I saw the pattern clearly. Control had replaced respect. Everything changed. I stopped saying, "I do not mind," when I did mind. I started saying what I actually wanted. I kept plans made for myself. I stopped adjusting to last-minute demands. That shift felt uncomfortable. It felt selfish at first. It felt like I was being difficult, but honesty replaced fear. Something changed fast. Psychology calls this self-concordance. Actions matched inner values. Control weakens when alignment grows. Autonomy removes leverage. Sophia kept her brunch plans. She said, "I already have plans." He was shocked by firmness. That shock was not rejection. It was self-respect. His grip loosened. Curious thing happened next. He noticed more. I stopped apologizing after saying no. I stopped explaining my reasons again and again. I said no clearly and calmly. That word stayed final. The first time he paused, he waited for excuses. None came. I felt steady and calm. He felt unsure. Control cracked. Psychology calls this boundary assertion. Clear limits need no defense. Extra explaining invites pressure. Firm, no ends negotiation. Sophia chose her friend's dinner. She said no once. She repeated no again. He had no response. That moment changed everything. Respect grew, but something else unsettled him more. Parts of life stayed off limits, and that bothered him deeply. I kept plans, friendships, and parts of my life he wasn't invited to. I stopped making him the center of my world. I kept girls' nights, routines, and hobbies just for me. Some plans did not include him. That mattered. Friendships stayed private and untouched. Time stayed mine. Life stayed full. And he noticed. Questions started coming. Who was there? What we talked about? Why he wasn't invited? The answer stayed simple. This is my time. The boundary stayed firm. No guilt followed. Psychology calls this relational autonomy. A full life limits control. No single person becomes power. Independence grows attraction. Sophia stopped cancelling plans. She showed up anyway. Sulking lost power. The more space stayed protected, the more control was attempted, and that revealed everything. He started questioning my friends. He began checking my location. He sulked when I chose myself. Something was off. Control showed up as concern. Jealousy acted like love. Limits felt like danger to him. That mattered. I stayed calm and firm. I did not explain or shrink. I did not change my life. And he panicked. Psychology calls this coercive control. Control grows from insecurity. Fear drives the need to grip. Power was never real. Refusal exposed his weakness. Autonomy forced self-reflection. Disobedience became a mirror, and mirrors hurt. Sophia heard questions and guilt. She answered with calm truth. He had no reply. His fear became visible. His love felt fragile, and obsession quietly replaced control. Loss of control created an obsession he couldn't explain. The less I bent, the more he chased. The more I stayed private, the more he watched. The firmer my boundaries became, the harder he pushed. That shift changed everything. This was not love. This was about power and control. He wanted what he could not manage. That truth was clear. Psychology calls this reactance. When freedom feels lost, desire grows fast. Control loss creates obsession, not care. That matters here. Being uncontrollable triggers panic. The controller tries harder to win back power. This behavior is ego-driven, not love. Autonomy threatens insecure people. Sophia set simple boundaries and stayed calm. Her ex texted more, planned more, watched more. Attention increased, but respect did not. She saw the pattern. Many people misunderstand what uncontrollable really means. It does not mean chaotic or disrespectful. It means being rooted and self-led. That difference changes everything. I was not loud or messy. I was clear about who I am. I knew my values and limits. That clarity made me steady. Being rooted means not bending under pressure. It means choosing self-respect over comfort. It means standing firm when it matters. That strength is rare. Psychology calls this self-control from within. People feel drawn to those who lead themselves. Self-led women cannot be pushed or shaped. That scares insecure people. Sophia was not rebellious or rude. She had clear boundaries and standards. The wrong men tried to control her. The right man admired her. Being uncontrollable does not create chaos. It creates respect and pull. Rooted women live outside control, and that is the most attractive place to be. Insecure people chase control to feel safe. Control creates pressure, not connection. Pressure pushes love away every time. Here is the truth most miss. Freedom feels calm and natural. Freedom allows choice, not fear. That choice creates real attachment. This is where love starts. The right partner does not control. The right partner chooses to support. Autonomy attracts respect, not conflict. Notice who stays with freedom. Psychology shows secure love needs autonomy. Wholeness creates desire, not need. Control signals insecurity and fear. Freedom signals confidence and value. Sophia's ex demanded control and lost her. Her partner honors freedom and keeps her. That difference explains everything. A woman becomes powerful when she cannot be controlled. For years, being agreeable made respect disappear. Being flexible made value fade away. But here is what changed everything. Saying no without guilt shifted power. Keeping space made autonomy visible. Living freely removed his grip. And suddenly, respect appeared. Control attracts fear, not love. Freedom attracts respect and desire. Uncontrollable women are not difficult, just rooted. That truth explains the attraction. I stopped shrinking and started choosing myself. Now, love feels like choice, not pressure. This is the most attractive place to live. I am no longer convenient. I am rooted, self-directed, and firm when it matters. That freedom is what makes me unforgettable. I do not live inside anyone's control. I live by my own rules. And that is real power. You were never meant to be managed. You were meant to be free. The right people respect autonomy. If this woke something inside you, subscribe now. Stop being controllable. Start honoring your rhythm. Tell me in the comments, what boundary are you ready to set today?